All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's 2 p.m. We're going to get started in a moment here. Have all the defense attorneys had the opportunity to interview their clients?
No, Your Honor, I still need to speak with one of them who needs a Spanish interpreter.
Okay, will we have interpretation today?
Yes, Miss Adriana is going to sign on to interpret.
Okay, at courtroom 2, as soon as we can get that breakout facilitated and the interpreter comes on, can we have that defendant move if possible? Thank you. All right, it's 2 p.m. Let's get started. This is the state expedited accusations calendar in the state court of Fulton County, Georgia. I'm Judge Melanie Williams, and today is September the 15th of 2023. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney at this particular proceeding. This proceeding is being broadcast on the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this particular proceeding. When I ask you if you understand your rights, that is what I am referring to. Are there any other announcements before we begin with the calendar?
Your Honor, actually, I do have a question. A lot of my clients were not on the calendar today that I just received.
I was told there's going to be an add-on calendar,
Okay.
Unfortunately. So
No problem, Your Honor.
we will have that add-on calendar will come out probably mid-calendar
That's my understanding as well, Your
at
Honor.
some point today, which is not ideal for anyone. So I will ask if we can, whenever that's available, if it can be sent to me. Thank you. All right. One more thing. Let me check one thing. My reset date. Those who receive a signature bond will be reset for the notice, and those who receive a surety bond will be those who receive a surety or cash bond will be reset to the state all-purpose calendar on September the 28th. I see Ms. Chancey is on the line. Is it possible to get the party that needs interpretation moved, or will that take us a moment? And in the meantime, Ms. Chancey, please raise your right hand and state your name for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Adriana Chancey.
All right. Do you swear and affirm that you will make an accurate translation from English to Spanish, Spanish to English to the best of your skills, knowledge, and abilities?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right. Thank you. Reminding you that you're under oath and will continue to be once you return from breakout. All right. Who do I have at courtroom 2?
Good afternoon, Judge Williams. This is going to be position number 1, Mr. Abrams.
Okay. And again, whenever you can, if you could take that person for the breakout to do the interview. All right, Mr. Abrams, good afternoon. Your case is 23 CR 005538E. You are charged with simple battery family violence. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have that history, please?
18 total. We got an open case in Douglas County for drug. 2021 battery conviction and a couple of probation violations in the system. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pierre Thomas, if you would like to proceed.
Good morning, Your Honor. As we've already, he has that 2021 battery conviction. He has a violence in his history. Your Honor, the facts of the case are essentially that he struck him and his brother share a person in common because they have a child. The brother has a child with the victim. I'm sorry. And so he struck his nephew's mother. I'm sorry, I know I'm frazzled a little bit. Your Honor, it's my understanding that they don't live together still. So we wouldn't necessarily need a stay away from the incident location, but we'd be requesting a $3,000 bond, surety bond, and we'd be requesting a no further contact with the victim. I think the victim is on today, and I'd like to give her the opportunity to speak if she wants to.
And the victim's name?
The victim's name is Miss. One moment. It is Miss Tamaya Fluling.
All right.
TOMIYAFLUELLEN.
Is Miss Tamaya Fluling present on the Zoom conference and wishes to make a statement? All right, hearing none, Ms. Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 31 years old. He's originally from Flint, Michigan, and he moved to Georgia in 2010 to be closer to his family. He's a father to a 5-year-old daughter. He is employed at Georgia Tree Movers. He cuts down trees, and he also has a second job doing construction part-time. He tells me that the complaining witness, as you've heard, is the mother of his brother's children. And he also confirmed that she no longer resides at the incident address. It's my understanding that she's moved out of state to live with her family. So my client doesn't pose a substantial danger to the complaining witness. He does have stable housing and employment, so he's not a flight risk or a danger. And his indigency is a concern. I understand that he has a case open in Douglas, and that is not a violent offense to my understanding. I'm asking Your Honor to grant him a signature bond through the jail, and if Your Honor is not inclined, a reasonable bond at $500.
All right, defendant will receive a $1,500 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Is there anything further?
No, Your
Nothing
Honor.
further to state, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Please, if you are on this Zoom conference, please sit down or turn your camera off. All right, even if this is still court. If you continue to move about, we will put you out of the Zoom. All right, who do we have next? Best of luck to you, Mr. Abrams.
Position 7, Horton.
I apologize, Judge Williams. Is there a way that I see that courtroom 3 is on, that Ms. Abden can go into the breakout room now?
Okay, yes, Ms. Abden. Does this case belong to Ms. Abden? Can we take a case?
Is it
for Ms.
Horton?
Kim?
It
Uh,
is Horton. Position 7, Horton.
That is my case, Your Honor.
Can we take a case that belongs to Ms. Kim?
Okay. Position 8, Jordan.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Jordan. Your case is 23 CR 005537A. You're charged with failure to obey stop sign, fleeing on eluding, driving while your license is suspended, failing to maintain insurance, and reckless driving, each with the offense date of August 25th. Do you understand your rights?
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have the history, please?
25 total. Last arrest was on the 6th of this month for possession of marijuana. You got to open theft by taking in Superior Court, theft by receiving, obstruction, possession of marijuana as well. Possession of dangerous weapon or drugs by an inmate. 2022 fleeing an officer, suspended license. 2022 driving without a valid license. 2020 suspended license no low. 2019 driving without a valid license, suspended license no low as well. In 2019, 2017 failure to appear. That's it. As far as the driving.
Mr. Pawan?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll also note for the court, I think pretrial mentioned this as an arrest. I have it as an open case, 23 CP 218610, possession of dangerous weapons or drugs by an inmate. The defendant is on a $6,500 surety bond for that case as well. And also relevant for the court's calculus, the 2 open theft cases are both felonies. The reason both of those are open is that the defendant has 2 FTAs in both cases, both of them FTAs on jury trial. Your Honor, in this matter, officers were notified by another officer that the defendant was driving past in a white Dodge Journey, Georgia tag CWL 7427. The officers know the defendant from previous interactions and were aware that his driver's license was suspended. The officers ran the defendant's tag and also found no valid insurance. The officers pulled behind the defendant and activated their blue lights. Defendant did not pull his vehicle over. He ran a red light at I-20 and Windsor Street. He ran a stop sign, Windsor Street and Richardson Street. He then ran another stop sign and did all of these actions while traveling at a high rate of speed. He has 3 active suspensions on his license. And the state's recommendation, Your Honor, is a $3,000 surety bond. That's because of the multiple FTAs and the rich criminal history over the past few years. We'd also ask that Your Honor order no driving.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is married with, he's also gainfully employed as a labor worker at staff. However, because he has 3 young children, 3, 2, and 4-month-old, almost like a babies, and his wife is not working. His financial condition is very difficult. So he's qualified for public defender services, Your Honor. He completed GED, and we would like to request for maximum $1,000 good bond, totaling $1,000, which means $200 for each charge. No, that's $1,200 good bond. That's it, Your Honor.
Thank you for the moment.
Your Honor, I
Okay.
failed to state for the court, if it's currently a $15,000 surety bond, that's $10,000 on the reckless and $5,000 on each subsequent charge. State's recommendation was 3. I'd be happy to put that all on the reckless.
Okay. All right, defendant will receive a $3,000 surety bond, $500 each count. He's not to drive whatsoever unless he has secured a license through the Georgia DDS. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Is there anything further?
Nothing
No.
further, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
Position 6, Grant.
And that's Ms. Kim's as well?
No,
Yes,
Your
it
Honor,
is.
conflict.
Oh, that's Ms. McLeod. Okay, wonderful.
I'm
Good
sorry,
af-
Ms. McLeod, yeah.
That's fine. Good afternoon. Your case is 23 CR 005535A. You're charged with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Howard?
This is Grant, right?
Yes.
Yes.
First arrest.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pawan, please proceed.
Your Honor, in this matter, officers were dispatched to a domestic. When they arrived, they met with the defendant and the victim. The defendant stated that his family members were in a fight and left briefly before officers arrived. The victim stated that the defendant was lying and that the defendant had been fighting her. The officer noted multiple wounds to the victim, including a swollen and bleeding lip and scratches to her arms and legs. The victim stated the defendant became angry with her for talking to someone on the phone and then attacked her. Your Honor, the cruelty third charge is based in that there was a minor child present whose initials are ND. She heard the altercation and she was the 911 caller. My understanding is the defendant, the victim, and the minor child all reside in the same home. State's recommendation is a $4,000 SOB bond through pretrial. We'd also ask that Your Honor order no further contact with either victim, a stay away from the incident address, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
All right, and can I have the names of the victims so I can sound properly?
Yes, Your Honor. The victim of the battery is Miss Destiny Davis. And again, the other is a minor. So
Minor, who we don't need to sound for.
ND.
Is Miss Davis present and wishes to make a statement? Hearing none, Ms. McLeod, I'm inclined to give that SOB through pretrial and require the 1-day anger awareness, but I am also inclined to include the no further contact, particularly in light of the fact that the victims are not here.
My client wishes no further contact, Your Honor. He tells me that they were already broken up. He went there with his brother to retrieve his belongings. He denies that he struck his ex or anything like that. He said that she was the one who attacked him, but she was at home with her family members and they would say otherwise, but he denies that he put his hand on her, Your Honor, and he doesn't wish to have any further contact with her, and he actually does not live there.
All right. So we will so he doesn't need a law enforcement escort to get in
No,
the
he
eye?
does not, Your Honor. He told me he has already taken all his things from that location and he doesn't have any need to go back there and doesn't wish to have any contact.
All right, Mr. Grant will receive a signature bond through pretrial, 3,000 count 1, 1,000 count 2. He's to take the 1-day anger awareness course, have no contact with the alleged victim, stay away from that location, and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything further?
Nothing
further,
further.
Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Grant. That concludes your case.
Judge, I did not receive an add-on calendar, so it's gonna be Ms. Parks.
Okay, I don't have that. Do we have the number? I don't have an add-on calendar
I don't-
either. I don't know if we can do this yet without a case number.
I just received add-on calendar, Your
Oh,
Honor.
you did?
Yes,
Okay,
it was just sent out.
okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you all. All right. So Ms. Parks is add-on 3. Your case is 23 CR 005543G. You're charged with criminal trespass and damage to property, as well as simple battery family violence. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have the history, please?
It's a fourth arrest. Last was in 2014 for obstruction, giving false name. She's recommended.
Okay. We don't have a 2018 theft by taking. That's not her.
That's the last arrest, yeah. But
Okay.
I don't see no violence.
Okay, just checking. All right, Mr. Pallon, please proceed.
Your Honor, I think this will actually be presented by a new ASG in our office, ASG White, if he's available.
Okay.
And Your
Mr.
Honor, I'm here, Anna Allen, supervisor, today in place of Ms. Falk, just FYI.
All right, thank you, Ms. Allen. Mr. White, please proceed.
Yes, can you tell me which victim we're talking about again?
So
He
this
was
is
doing-
position 11 on the original calendar, 3 on our add-on Rochelle Parks. So that's
Rochelle
the
Parks.
victim,
Okay, got it.
Marco Bosley, I believe.
Got it. This is a case where officers were called out on 9/13/23 to Landmark Drive and Nishki Lake Drive. And it seems a situation where the defendant was mad at her boyfriend for leaving the home at the time. So as he was trying to leave the home, she hops in his car, she punches him, she breaks the key in the ignition. And once the officers got there, they heard both sides of the story. She was charged with criminal trespass and damage to property and simple battery family violence because they share a child together. So we're going to ask for a $1,000 surety bond for criminal trespass and damage to property and a $3,000 surety bond for simple battery family violence, which totals $4,000. We also would like a day of anger management awareness and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
What was broken? What's the basis of the criminal trespass?
His key was broken in the ignition.
Oh, and then, okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. Mr. Bosley, if you'd like to make a statement, please raise your right hand. And turn on your camera, unmute your screen so that we'll be able to hear you. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. If you disagree with the facts as alleged by the state, that's not what I'm most concerned with today. What I'm most concerned with is any concerns you have for your safety, any desires for contact in light of those instructions. Mr. Bosley, what would you like to tell me?
No, I have no obstructions. I really would like all charges to be dropped. I told the police officer, when it happened, it was just a disagreement that went bad, and I don't think she should have to go through all of this for that. It just went bad. It's never really happened before, and if you take my word, I want everything to be dropped.
Okay. Ms. Kim, in light of the information before me, I'm inclined to accept the pretrial recommendation and give a signature bond through pretrial and make her take the 1-day anger awareness course and have no further violent contact with the victim. Do you have any objections or anything you'd like to add?
No objection, Your Honor. I just want to have a clear record I want to put this on the record that it was her self-defense. That's all.
All right, understood. Defendant will receive a $4,000 SOB through pretrial, $1,000 for the criminal trespass and damage, $3,000 for the simple battery, family violence. She's going to take the one-day anger awareness course and have no further violent contact with Mr. Bosley. Is there anything further from either party?
Nothing further from defense.
Anything from the state, Mr. White?
No, ma'am.
All right. Best of luck to you, Ms. Parks. Can we move to the next position, please?
Mr. Emilio, first name Ty.
Is that on the add-on or original? Does anybody know?
Add on.
It's on
Okay.
the-
Add on to.
All right, thank you. You bear with me. I'm toggling back and forth. Mr. Emilio, your case is 23 CR 005546E. You're charged with battery. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, wonderful. Can I have the history,
First
please?
arrest.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Howard. Mr. White, is this your case as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please proceed.
Officer came out 9/14/2023 to 9/4/45. Missed water, closed. This is Roswell in Fulton. And well, you know what? I should back up. So we dropped this down to a battery without the family violence. And we did that because we had no immediate info on the relationship between the defendant and the victim. So we dropped the family violence on it. And of course, if we get some more information, we can kind of follow up on it. But today we dropped the family violence. He has no criminal history. Seems to be, one of the first time getting in trouble kind of thing. So we're going to ask for a surety bond of $2,500, anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and that'll be all from us.
And host the alleged victim so I can sound.
Say that again.
Then the name of the alleged victim. Who's the
Okay.
victim in this case?
Give me one.
I'd like to give the victim the opportunity to make a statement if they wish to do so.
Got you. Give me just a second, please.
So Your Honor, the warrant in this case lists the victim as Tiana Altig, ALTIG. We had no contact information for her, but did run investigative reports and found numbers that were disconnected. The facts of this case are that basically visible bodily harm, scratches were caused by pushing and scratching Mrs. Otlig at that location named by Mr. White.
I took a look at the warrant, so I'm familiar. Thank you, Ms. Allen, for filling that in.
Thank you.
Is Ms. Pronounce it again, Miss, I don't want to get it wrong. Attic at ATIGIC. Are you
ALTIG, I believe. So Altig.
Alt? Is Ms. Altig present and wishes to make a statement? Okay, I'm not seeing, and I don't see anyone with that screen name on here. In light of the information, Ms. Kim, again, I'm inclined to grant the signature bond. However, in this case, there will be no further contact and a stay away as I don't have any information from that victim. And I would require the one-day anger awareness. Is there anything additional you would like to add to the record, or do you object to my ruling as pending?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so that will be the ruling of this court. He's going to receive a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. He is to take the one-day anger awareness course, have no contact with the alleged victim, stay away from that location. Should he need to return, he can do so one time with a member of law enforcement. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, who do we have next?
Next case is, it's the add-on position number 1. Come on, ma'am.
Add on 1, okay. Give me 1 second.
Your Honor, this is the one that I requested for breakout room.
Okay, and let's see, Miss Abden is not back. So are we gonna need to do breakouts for any other cases? Because if not,
Case, Judge.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you at courtroom 2.
This is Miss Kim's case.
Yes.
Yes, she
It is
wants
my
to do a
case.
breakout. So I
Okay.
was trying to make sure there's no other breakouts requested.
I believe there'll be a required breakout for position number 5 on our initial calendar, last name Crawford.
Okay, so is there another position that doesn't require a breakout we could take that also belongs to Ms. Kim? And we take all the breakouts together?
Now, the remaining positions are all for Ms. Abden.
Absent. Okay, so we'll go into the breakout now. If I could be placed in a breakout with Ms. Kim, Mr. Palan, Ms. Allen, I'm sure Mr. White will need to attend and observe. Is there anyone else that needs to join us in that breakout?
Yes, Your Honor, we have a second new ASG you heard from earlier, Mr.
Oh, that's
Thomas.
correct, Mr. Thomas. I did
Thank
see
you.
Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas is welcome as well.
How do we get to it?
They're gonna assign you.
Okay, thank you.
For the individuals that are asking to be in the breakout room, are you all a part of the courts?
They're the parents of Crawford.
I'm sorry?
They're the parents of Crawford.
Okay, when they come out, when they come out, or if they ask, then I'll put you all in there. The breakout room is for the court officials right now. So if they ask for the family to be a part of the breakout room, then I'll add you all. But as of now, that's not what they're asking for. So just wait until they come back on, please. Thank you.
Tucson, call courtroom 2. Tucson.
All right, we are now taking up the, find my calendar again. I'm sorry, I know this is just out of order. What number is she? And she's on the regular calendar. Oh, she's on the add-on one. All right, ma'am, your case is 23 CR 005545C. You're charged with criminal trespass. Do you understand your rights today? Yes. Is that a yes? All right, this is first arrest. So we will allow, is it Mr. White or Mr. Thomas? Which I'll just allow you to put your recommendation onto the record.
It's Mr. White.
All right, Mr. White, please you're muted. Please put your recommendation onto the record.
I just got back into the room from the breakout. It was
I just read her case number. This is add-on one, and I'm sorry, Ms. Kim, will you please pronounce your client's last name for us to the best of your.
Kumar.
All right, Ms. Krishna Kumar, we're taking up her case. She understands her rights, and we've indicated this is her first arrest. So if you just put the recommendation onto the record.
Yeah, just $1,000 surety bond. That's all.
All right. At this time, we're going to give the defendant $1,000 signature bond through the jail. She's to stay away from that location. I believe I do need the address. What is the address?
It was
I know it's
Garden Inn.
It was the Garden Hilton, but I need the actual.
We need the actual address for our order. And then additionally, she's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Just a second.
4025 Windward Plaza.
All right, so she needs to stay away from that location. Don't go back there, ma'am. All right, your case is over. I'm letting you sign your own bond. Best of luck to you, okay? All right, who do we have next?
Is Ms. Abden back? No, she's not.
She's
Okay. Yeah, the remaining cases are for Ms. Abden.
Okay, can we do the waive case then, I guess? Let's take up the waiver of appearance. What case was that, Ms. Kim?
That was Miss White, position number 5.
Position 5 on the add-on. Okay, Miss White in, no, that's not the add-on calendar.
Actually, Ms. White, she's actually in the felony calendar, so she still needs to be brought over.
Oh, but she waived her appearance, so I can just go ahead and do it
Okay.
without her.
So you don't have to bring her.
Correct.
All right, Ms. White in case 23 CR 005544J is charged with simple battery with the offense date of May the 7th. Mr. Howard, please put that history onto the record. You're muted if you're speaking to us.
I'm not. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, not you, Ms. White. Mr. Howard, can we have the history?
I'm sorry.
Total. Last was 2021 suspended license. On probation for financial identity fraud. 2019 failed to appear. Got probation violations from 2018-17. Possession of a firearm by convicted felon conviction 2015. 2016 FTA. I don't know what the felony bond was. I have to look it up. Call it that.
All right, now, Mr. White, I apologize. Please proceed.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just going to add to what I saw 29 cycles. I also saw 2 other instances of aggravated assaults. For some reason, the magistrate court only found that they had probable cause for simple battery. As I read the warrant that she went and took out against the defendant, it looks like a simple battery and an aggravated assault. But we're just going to discuss the simple battery since that's what we're here for. They were at a store, and the victim used to date the boyfriend. They shared, boyfriend between them. And I guess, things got heated. She knew that she used to date the guy. She said she punched her, and then she started shooting at her. But, again, we're only talking about the simple battery. So we're asking for a surety bond of $2,500, a stay away from the victim, anger awareness, stay away also from the address of the victim, which is 2937 Baker Ridge Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, 30318. And that's all I have.
I'm sorry, and the victim's name, I know you just said it. It's already gone. What was the victim's name?
Taisha Thomas.
All right, is Ms. Thomas on the Zoom conference and wishes to make a statement? Hearing none. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 40 years old. The location, incident location is actually her employment place, and that's her job, livelihood. And the alleged victim complaining witness does not work there, and she came to her work to cause this incident. And we would like to request that she does not have to stay away from her own employment unless she is fired from that location. So other than that, she has no objection to no further contact with Ms. Thomas. And Your Honor, also, I got really good address here at Atlanta, Georgia. She's not a flight risk. She has 3 children, and one of them is actually 3-month-old baby, and she's not going anywhere without her baby. And also, she's married. She has her family members here. We just want to ask for reduced bond for $1,000 good bond. Thank you.
Your Honor, if I might, just for a moment, I believe our victim has.
Yeah, I see
joined
someone
us.
at iPhone raising a hand, even though we've already sounded. Do you wish to make a statement? Are you Ms. Thomas?
If I might quickly before. So the posture of this case is that, like many people who are victimized, they feel like they've got to go get a private warrant action. And that's what happened here. There was a probable cause hearing in front of the magistrate court, where the defendant did not appear, although testimony came out that the defendant threatened this woman if she came forward and went to the hearing and attended and gave evidence. Ms. Thomas reported that she is dating the defendant's ex-boyfriend and is currently pregnant, and that she'd been receiving threats for a period of time and was in fear. She also, in her affidavit, wrote that there was a gun involved in this case. So at this point, our limited information is from the victim and the probable cause hearing that happened in magistrate court. The extensive criminal history, including violence and gun possession illegally by a convicted felon, is something that the state is the most concerned about. And so I just wanted to make sure that was stated on the record. We don't want to try to put you in a position to find probable cause for something that's maybe already been heard in magistrate court and we don't have a warrant for, but we are going to wrap our arms around it and move forward with a larger graph.
I appreciate that.
But we would like to put an objection on the record as well. We have not seen any evidence about gun. My client denies the allegation.
Well, we're here for the simple battle. We all agree
Right.
that that's what we're discussing.
Sure.
All right, Ms. Thomas, if you want to make a brief statement, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am. And I didn't.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay. Wait. Stop. I have to give you some instructions. Okay. Again, I don't need you to rehash what happened because I'm not sentencing her today. She's gonna get a bond, and in every misdemeanor case, the person is entitled to a bond. So people will come and say, "I want you to give her no bond." That is not an option. She's here for. I'm only addressing her misdemeanor portion of her case today. What I'm concerned is any concerns you have for your own safety, and I'm assuming you don't want contact with her, but I get surprised by these things every day. So what would you like to tell me in light of those instructions, Ms. Thomas?
Okay. Well, I've been on here. I just didn't want to speak if she was on here because, like I said, I'm 3 months pregnant by the dude that she used to date, and now that I'm on here and I'm hearing all the lies, not saying like that, but that store just reopened. Like the owner of the store, I got his number. He the one gave me the camera, so she doesn't work there. She trap and sell drugs there, maybe. But she don't work there
That
at
has
all.
nothing to do with this case, irrelevant, and it is very prejudicial.
Right, I mean, I'm just saying because I
No
didn't go to the
objection,
location.
Your Honor.
I didn't go to the location, her
right.
job at all.
Ma'am,
She doesn't work there.
Okay. So thank you. We'll address that part. But your safety, how do you feel?
Okay.
concerning
Well, I'm just kind of surprised that she locked up because she just called my phone last Friday private and was threatening me because
Please,
like I said,
objection. That has nothing to do with this case.
Well,
We are
she's
only
speaking.
here for.
I'm gonna
am
allow
I
her.
able to speak or no? Like this, I'm just confused.
I'm letting
Can I
you talk.
speak to you?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Miss.
Okay, I'm just kind of confused. Okay, so when the victim people just called me today, I'm like I said, I'm kind of confused because I didn't know that she was locked up, and they just asked me what's going on. So you asking me how I feel? I'm 4 months pregnant by the dude that she used to date or whatever, and she just called me last week. It was last Friday, threatening me if she see him. It's nothing. It's not even about me anymore. It's straight about this dude. If she see him in my car, she's gonna shoot my car up. And me, I wouldn't even waste my $25 and put no
Is
warrant
it,
on this girl
is it,
if it wasn't that serious. Like I
is
got
it fair to
kids. I
say,
got
Ms.
kids.
Thomas?
I'm really
Okay.
fearing for my life.
Well,
I'm tired
Okay,
of her.
that's
Right,
enough.
that's what we're trying to get to, Ms. Thomas. Is it fair for me to say that you're in fear for your safety? Is that
Yes,
fair?
I am. I'm not.
Okay.
I am. Yes.
And the only reason I don't want, sometimes victims say things to get themselves in trouble too. So, you know, I know you feel that we're cutting you down
Yeah.
and not letting you speak as freely. You will have your day to speak freely. It's just not today. Okay. So
Okay.
so it's fair to say that you're in fear for your safety and you wish to have
Yes,
no
of course.
contact.
She's a convicted felony. I
Please,
don't do
please,
nothing.
please.
Like she is.
Objection.
Yes.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Can
All
we
right,
also make sure that the victim's address, although it was read into the record, should not be included on the order?
I
Yeah,
think
because
if that wasn't,
that's my mom address.
We're
That's not even
handling
mine.
it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
the
Yeah.
Baker Street address is not a business. I thought that was a business. That's someone
No,
else's
that's
home.
my mom. That's my mother address. Yes.
Okay,
That's
we
my
won't put that address in the order. We'll just say stay away from
Yeah.
instant location.
from
All right.
me. Period. Me and
Well,
my property.
we're gonna issue no contact with you, which means she can't speak to you by phone, internet, social media, any of that. And then we're gonna issue that stay away from that location, which indicates she cannot come back there. All right. All right. Defendant's gonna receive a $2,000 surety bond. She's to have no contact whatsoever with Ms. Thomas, whether through social media, the internet, text, phone, or otherwise. She should, if she happens to see the the victim, she should go in the other direction. Additionally, she is to stay away from that incident location and anywhere that Ms. Thomas lives or works or resides. She's also to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. All right. Is there anything further from either party?
Nothing further from Bess.
All right. Best of luck to all those involved. I see Ms. Abden has returned as well as Ms. Chancey. Can we do the interpreter case?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Chancey, are you still here? Reminding
Yes,
you
ma'am.
that you're under oath. We are ready to proceed with that case. If I could just,
Yes,
all
ma'am.
right, find it. All right, is this Jose Bonilla?
¿Es José Bonilla?
Sí, soy yo.
Yes,
Oh.
it's me.
Your case is 23 CR 005539F. In this case, you're charged with 2 counts of simple battery family violence. Do you understand your rights today?
Usted tiene un caso número 23CR005539F y tiene 2 cargos por golpes y lesiones simples, violencia familiar. ¿Usted entiende los derechos, sus derechos hoy?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Howard, can I have Mr. Bonilla's history, please?
¿Puedo tener los antecedentes, señor Howard?
His fourth arrest. He don't have
Es-
any violent history. I only saw driving arrest.
Tiene 4 arrestos anteriores, pero no tiene ningún antecedente violento, solamente fueron de tránsito.
Sí.
All right, Mr. Thomas, please proceed.
Your Honor,
Señor
given the
Thomas,
situation, is it possible to sound for the victims, as our office has been in contact with the victims, but
We're gonna sound for the victim after I hear from you, and
Okay.
please give time for interpretation to catch up, okay?
thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Your Honor, I understand that there's no violence in the arrest, but one of the arrests is for I believe it's a DUI conviction, if I'm not mistaken.
Su señoría, entiendo que no hay ningún arresto debido a la violencia, pero creo que uno de ellos se debe a manejar por los efectos del alcohol.
That becomes relevant, Your Honor, because this arises out of a situation where the defendant arrived intoxicated to the home.
Esto es importante porque sale de una situación en donde el acusado llegó a su casa ebrio.
The allegation is once that he arrived, he got into an altercation with his wife and her child, her daughter.
Esto se dice que llegó a la casa y se inició un altercado con su esposa y con la hija.
That altercation resulted in him physically pushing both his wife and his wife's daughter.
Esto resultó en que él se empujó a su esposa y a la hija de ella.
At some point, his wife was in fear And so she sought the need to defend herself.
Ella llegó a un punto en que la esposa sintió temor por él.
Your Honor, at that point, the defendant then took the object in which she sought to defend herself and inflicted self-inflicted wounds.
I'm sorry, Mr. Thomas, he took an object.
Yes, he took an object and began to stab himself.
Himself?
En ese momento, él
Self,
tomó
yes.
un objeto y empezó a causarse lesiones a sí mismo.
It is our understanding that the victim in this case does not seek to have contact with the defendant, victims, plural.
Entiendo que en este momento la víctima, en este caso, no quiere tener contacto con este acusado.
They are actually in fear that based on his behavior in stabbing himself, that he is likely to stab them next time.
Debido a que le temen por su comportamiento de causarse lesiones y apuñalarse a sí mismo, que pueda apuñalarlas a ellas en la próxima vez.
It is our understanding that while this is the first time police have been involved, this is not the first time that he has exhibited violent behavior.
Esta es la primera vez que la policía ha actuado, pero no es la primera vez que ha demostrado actos violentos.
And so for that reason, the state will be recommending a $2,000 surety bond on each count.
Por eso la Fiscalía sugiere una sentencia de $2,000 de fianza bajo garantía por cada cargo.
A stay away from the incident location.
Que se mantenga distanciado del lugar donde ocurrió el incidente.
And no further contact with the victim.
Y ningún contacto con la víctima.
And if Your Honor is so inclined, a no drugs or alcohol provision.
Y que quede prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Nada más de parte de la Fiscalía, su señoría.
Okay, and I need to sound for those victims that you asked me to sound for. Their names, Mr.
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes, the names of the victims, Your Honor, are the first victim is going to be Chanda, Chanda, Frazier, traditional spelling.
Chanda Frazier. Está en la plataforma de Zoom, por favor, prenda su cámara. Chanda Frazier.
And the second victim is going to be Shanquilla, Chanquella, Rosier, Rozier.
Y Chanquilla Rosier, por favor, si está en la pantalla, prendan sus cámaras. Chanda Frazier and Chanquilla Rosier.
All right, Ms. Chancey sounded in Spanish, I'll sound in English. Does Shonda Frazier or Shanquilla Rosier wish to make a statement?
¿Quiere a Chanda Frazier o Chanquilla Rosier hablar con la jueza?
Chanda.
Chanda.
I see Shonda on the line, but I'm assuming she does not, so we'll move forward.
Chanda no quiere. Okay, sorry.
No, that you did great. I just want to make sure she had our victims love to come on once we've moved on.
I can see the screen too.
Yes, okay, we're gonna assume she does not wish to speak. Ms. Abden, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client's 37 years old. He's been living in Georgia for the past 17 years. He has 2 minor children with his wife, one of the complaining witnesses.
Wait, let Ms. Chancey catch up.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so
Mi
sorry, I
cliente
forgot.
tiene 37 años, y ha vivido en el estado de Georgia por 17 años y él tiene 2 hijos menores. Thank you, Madam Attorney, go ahead.
He's gainfully employed. He works at a warehouse as an area manager.
Él trabaja en un depósito como gerente de área.
Where he's been working for the past 16 years.
Donde ha trabajado en los últimos 16 años.
It's my understanding that he's the only one who financially supports the household.
Entiendo que él es el único proveedor financiero de la familia.
And that he's the primary caretaker for the 2 children.
Y que también es el que cuida, el principal cuidador de los niños.
Without going too much into the facts.
No he ido entre los hechos con más profundidad.
It's my understanding that he was not the first aggressor.
Entiendo que él no fue el agresor primario.
And he tells me that he was stabbed by the complaining witness, Chanquilla.
y me declaró que él fue apuñalado por la persona que se menciona como víctima, Chanquila Rocier.
So he is also recommended by pretrial, Your Honor, and I'm requesting a signature bond for my client, and he would be okay with a no further contact. And go ahead, sorry.
Él cumple los requisitos para trabajar en esto a través de los servicios previos al juicio. Recomiendo una fianza bajo firma y él está de acuerdo con una imposición de no tener más contacto.
This is his home, he owns it.
Este es su casa, es propiedad de él.
And I'm requesting that he be allowed to return and care for his children who reside there.
Y quisiera pedir el permiso para que él pueda regresar y pueda criar a sus hijos.
And if Your Honor is not inclined to grant him a signature bond, a reasonable bond at $500 on each charge.
Y si su señoría no tiene la inclinación de aceptar una fianza bajo firma, que por favor considere una fianza mínima de $500 por cargo.
All right, he's going to receive a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial per judge.
Él va a recibir una fianza de $4,000 bajo firma a través de la jueza.
He is to have no contact with either of the alleged victims.
Él no puede tener contacto con ninguna de las víctimas alegadas.
He must stay away from that location.
Él tiene que mantenerse alejado de esa dirección.
If the victims reside there.
Si las víctimas viven ahí.
Do any of the victims reside there? Are they alleged to live at that location? I'm assuming so.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sí, su señoría.
All right, so if the victims still reside there, he must stay away.
Bueno, la víctima vive allí, así que él tendrá que estar alejado de ahí.
He can return with one time with a member of law enforcement to make that determination.
Él puede regresar una sola vez para buscar sus cosas con un oficial de policía.
Or to get any items.
Para hacer cualquier tipo de determinación o para buscar sus pertenencias personales.
Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Adicionalmente, queda prohibido el uso del alcohol, drogas y armas.
Mr. Howard, do you need to give him any instructions regarding reporting the pretrial while Ms. Chancey is here?
Señor Howard, ¿tiene alguna instrucción que quiera darle al señor para que se presente en los servicios previos al juicio?
They'll give him the instructions before he get released.
Antes de que lo pongan en libertad, señor, le van a dar instrucciones para usted presentarse en la oficina de servicios previos a juicio.
So he'll have to do the Zoom.
Usted va a tener que hacer una audiencia a través de Zoom.
Ms. Abden, you were going to say something?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just one more thing. If we can just request a third-party transfer for the children.
Si por favor puedo solicitarle que le permita tener a una persona tercera que pueda transportar a los niños para poder visitar.
All right, so granted, Ms. Abden.
Sí, está otorgada.
All right, anything further from the state of the defense?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nada más, señoría.
That's all, Your Honor.
Eso es
all
todo.
Right. Sir, best of luck to you. That concludes your case.
Señor, mucha suerte. Esto cierra su caso por hoy.
Excuse me, Judge, can you give me a breakdown on the bond?
I'm sorry, $2,000 each count.
Son $2,000 por cargo.
I apologize, Ms. Champion.
Oh, you're welcome.
Ms. Chancey, will you sound before you go for anyone else who needs your assistance?
¿Hay alguien que necesite un intérprete en español? Por favor, avísenos, prenda su cámara. I don't think so, Your Honor.
All right, hearing none, that concludes your case. And best of luck to you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Chancey, as always, for your assistance.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, who do we have next?
Position number 4, Carter.
And that's the regular calendar. Okay. Mr. Carter, your case 23 CR 005541D. You're charged with simple battery family violence. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have the history, please?
19 total. Last was 2022, possession of a Schedule 1 or 2 controlled substance with intent. Suspended license, failure to signal lane change. Got an open case in DeKalb County for battery DV, simple battery DV, disorderly conduct. 2018 failure to appear. 2016 given false name conviction, and a 2011 armed robbery arrest.
All right, thank you. Mr. Thomas?
The state has that armed robbery arrest actually concluded in a reduction to robbery and a conviction, Your Honor. Given the facts of this case are essentially unique. The facts of this case is that I believe Mr. Carter's wife was gone for an extended period of time. She then arrived at the home to find another female individual there with her husband. She then went to bed on the sofa, only to be woken up by her husband. There are varying reports in this case, right? So there's one report from the warrant that was taken out by officer, one moment, Your Honor. That was taken out by the Officer Farley. And that report is that when he woke his wife up, he began to strike her several times in the face and in several different locations. However, there is outside of the warrant, there's an actual report written by Officer Nguyen that specifically said that at the time that she was giving said report, the victim indicated that in addition to what is located in the warrant, that he also had a firearm that he pointed towards her. And so, Your Honor, given his family violence case in DeKalb, given his failure to appear, we think that he is a substantial flight risk. He is a risk to reoffend. And we think that this case has a high probability of escalating. And we also believe that he is a danger to the community and a danger to the victim in this case. And so for that reason, Your Honor, we'd be asking for a $15,000 surety bond, given the presence of a potential aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge to come as a result of this.
Okay, and there's not a preset bond on this, correct? Just making sure. There's no bond already.
I do believe it's in a no bond status, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And the victim's name, so I can sound?
The victim, Your Honor, the name is Bianca, traditional spelling Bianca Ragland, Ragland, Your Honor.
All right, is Ms. Ragland present and wishes to make a statement? Hearing and seeing none. Ms. Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just do want to highlight for the court, the incident allegedly occurred in 2022, several months ago. And as for my client, he's 35 years old. He's born in Georgia, has been living here his whole life. He has 7 children. 4 of them reside in the home with him, and they are minors. He works as a personal assistant, where he's been working for the past month. He firmly denies these allegations. He tells me that the complaining witness is his wife. They are on good terms, and they don't reside at the incident location. They reside at his parents' home together with their 4 children. I did not have a phone number for her. I'm not sure if the state was able to contact her, but it's my understanding that she's not afraid of him, and that this situation was a misunderstanding. And I am requesting no further violent contact, given they have children together, they reside together, and he does want to continue working things out with her and taking care of their children together. So I'm asking Your Honor to consider his indigency and his financial and familial obligations to 7 minor children into consideration when setting bond today. And so I'm requesting a signature bond for my client. And if Your Honor is not inclined, then a $300 surety bond, as that is all he can afford at this time.
All right.
And we just request that the stay away order be set forth as the victim has an opportunity, if she'd like to have no violent contact, to come into the court and request said contact. But as the defense and the prosecution has not had an opportunity to speak with the victim, for her own protection, we just ask that a stay away.
I'm inclined to agree because I haven't heard from her. I'm not going to be able to do a no further violent contact at this time. Defendant is going to receive a $4,500 surety bond. He's to have no contact with Ms. Ragland. That contact provision can be revisited at a later date. He is additionally to stay away from that location. He can return one time with law enforcement to get any items, and he can coordinate transport of his children through a third party. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. And as a reminder, he'll be reset to that state all-purpose calendar on the 28th of this month. Is there anything further?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, do you mind just repeating the bond again? I didn't catch it.
There was only one count. Let me make sure. It's 45,
Yeah, there was.
4,500 surety.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position number 7, Horton.
All right. Your case is 23 CR 005536Y. You're charged with battery family violence with the offense date of April the 11th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Can we have the history, please, Mr. Howard?
First arrest.
First arrest. You're right. I apologize.
Recommended.
Mr. Polan, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Can you see my camera? Because I can't see my camera.
We can see you.
Okay, well, that works then.
Looking great. Go ahead, Mr.
Oh,
Polan.
thanks. I was going to say only you will be punished with my presence. Your Honor, in this matter, officers were dispatched to a domestic. Officer met with the. I'm sorry, that's the wrong sheet, Your Honor. Let me go back down. This is a defendant Horton, correct? Position 7.
Correct.
Okay. Officers were dispatched to a domestic. They spoke with the victim, who stated the defendant grabbed her and pulled her by the neck. The officers were able to observe bruising to the defendant's neck. The victim stated that she and the defendant are married and live together. Your Honor, this incident did occur April 11th of 2023. And as far as I'm aware, this is the defendant's first arrest. There was a little confusion for me in that she was transported to our jail from Oconee County Jail. I don't know if something happened there and it just hasn't populated, but I'm not able to see it. Because of that, state's recommendation is a $4,000 signature on bond through pretrial. We would ask for no further contact with Ms. Horton and a stay away from the incident address. I would like to, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. I would like to sound for Ms. Horton.
Okay, and Ms. Horton is the, I know the defendant is Horton. We're just making sure the victim is Horton as well.
Yes, Your Honor. 2 females married. Victim is Miss Toshira Morton.
All right, is Ms. Horton present? Okay, has either the state or the defense had the opportunity to speak with Ms. Horton?
I'm going to double check that. Last I checked, the answer to that was no, Your Honor.
Ms. Abden, did you have an opportunity to speak with her?
No, Your Honor, I did try to contact her several times.
Our victim advocate did speak with the victim in this case, Your Honor. She reported that they're married, but they no longer live together.
Okay. And because she's not here, I am going to do the no further contact at this time. Defendant will receive, Ms. Abden, I'm going to make this as a proposal. My proposal is that she receives a $4,000 SOB through pretrial, takes a 1-day anger awareness course, has no contact with Ms. Horton, and stays away from the incident location. If the victim still resides there. Additionally, she's had no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Do you have anything to object to or anything additional you'd like to put on the record as part or objection to my ruling?
Your Honor, I would just ask you to consider a less restrictive signature bond through the jail. This is her first arrest. She does have 2 children living in the home. One of them is a minor, and she's gainfully employed. And this incident did occur a couple of months ago. And it is also my understanding that it was a misunderstanding, and she does deny these allegations.
All right, the ruling will stand. 4,000 SOB through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact, stay away, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Anything further?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, best of luck to you, ma'am. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
Position number 3, Mr. Broughton.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Broughton. Your case number is 23 CR 005540C. You're charged with possession and criminal trespass. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Howard, if you give me a minute, I'll look at my email.
17 total.
Thank
Last
you.
arrest was 2022 probation. On probation for ag stalking. 18 SC 163911. They gave him 1 year to serve, which would have taken it to 2020, then 4 years probation. Got a couple of 2020 probation violations. 2018 violation of family violence order conviction.
Okay. All right, please proceed, Mr. Thomas.
Your Honor, given the nature of the charges, I'll just briefly state the facts of the case, which is there was an officer patrolling at Georgia Institute of Technology, also known as Georgia Tech. While patrolling, he saw a male dancing in the yard. He identified the male as the defendant. He also identified the defendant as having a previous trespass warning that it was set to expire 7/01/2025. A search, I believe a search or a pat down, not a search and arrest, a pat down resulted in the recovery of 3 glass pipes and a green plastic bag containing methamphetamine, Your Honor. We are actually in the process of upgrading or potentially upgrading the charge to a felony because of the presence of the methamphetamine. But as it states today, we filed the 2 charges on the docket. And so for that reason, Your Honor, the state's recommendation is, given the history and the limited nature of the charge, the state's recommendation is a $500 surety bond on each count for a total of $1,000.
All right, Ms. Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 41 years old. He was born in Georgia, has lived here his whole life. He tells me this was a misunderstanding. He was walking through the parking lot to get to where he resides when he was approached by the officer. And he does deny the allegations. He tells me that he's not currently working. He's looking for work. He does not have money at all. So setting a bond at $10,000 for my client is like no bond at all. He was supposed to figure out reinstating his SSI, and he's missing the appointment today, Your Honor, and his next appointment is on Tuesday. That is his only source of income. And so I'm asking Your Honor to take that into consideration when setting bond today, as well as his indigency. And I am requesting a signature bond for my client. And if Your Honor is not inclined, then a reduced bond at $500, $250 on each.
Your Honor, if I said 5,000 on each, I misspoke. I thought I said 500 on each for a total.
You said 500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna look at one thing.
And while Your Honor does that, obviously with the stay away provision.
Right, I know. I'm just looking for me. Your the client has a stable address, Ms. Abden?
Yes.
I thought you just represented that he was homeless and he was.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is he homeless or is he?
So he has somewhere to stay with his cousin where he stays sometimes. I have that address, as well as a shelter that he's staying, and I also have that address.
Okay, so his address, he has some challenges in housing, would be fair to say, but he potentially has places he could get court notices.
Not only that, I also have a mailing address for him as well, Your Honor. So 3 separate addresses.
All right. He caught me on a good day. Defendant is going to receive a $10,000 SOB through the jail, $5,000 each count. He must absolutely stay away from Georgia Tech. Don't even look at it. And he is to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Mr. Broughton, I'm giving you a second chance here. Don't go to Georgia Tech. Don't even walk down that street. Stay away from First, North, all of the blocks that surround that campus. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Don't do that no more. Take care.
Thank you also, Mr. Williams. Mr. Thomas.
All right. Who do we have next?
Your Honor.
Position number 5, Crawford.
And I believe we need the breakout on that, Your Honor.
All right. Is that the very last case on the calendar? Or we
Yes,
have one more? What about, we have one more. What about Stevens?
I believe that is
She's
conflict,
in
Your
Union
Honor.
City.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I thought there was conflict. Let me double check, Your Honor.
It might be. Is Mr. Stevens not gonna be brought?
He's in Union City. I can give them a call.
Okay. All right, so we'll go into the breakout and hopefully we'll be able to get Mr. Stevens. All
Your Honor,
right.
I have not spoken to Mr. Stevens yet. I've been trying to get a hold of him, but so far I've not been able to talk to him yet.
It's that kind of day, Ms. McLeod. I'm not surprised. Hopefully when he comes on the screen, we'll be able to get him in. All right, if all parties would just, I guess everyone is coming to the breakout this time, with the exception of Ms. McLeod.
And
Mr.
I'm sorry, Judge Williams, if you could let Mr. Crawford's family know they are inquiring about being in the breakout room. And I told them that it's for court officials, but you can make the statement to kind of let them know what you would like to do.
Well, let me speak to the attorneys first, and if we feel that we need to hear from the family, we will then bring them into the breakout. So I see a Stephen Crawford on the line. I understand you want to join us, but let me speak to the appointed officials first, all right? So if we can go into that breakout room, Mr. Howard, will you put the history into the record? I have second arrest, but we'll let you put that on and we'll go in there. I understand that, Mr. Crawford, but we still have to follow procedures. Again, no sentences are being handed out today. This is just bond hearings. All right. Mr. Howard, the history, please.
Did I go to the breakout too soon?
You did.
Oh.
You were there alone. You were there alone, Mr. Thomas.
Oh,
Okay, well, Mr. Howard is not gonna help us right now. So we'll go into the breakout and I'll defer to the state for the history. And when we come back, Mr. Howard can put it on.
It's his first arrest, Your Honor.
I have second, but
Oh,
I'm
okay,
sure,
that's good to know.
I'm sure the state will correct me. All right, let's go into the breakout room. I'm gonna try to go back. Oh, I can join it again. So let's go.
I need to be added to the breakout room, I believe.
I got you. Give me a second.
Thank you. Take your time.
Miss Strong, I put myself in. It took me back out. Okay, I'm gonna go back in.
Okay.
All right, based upon the information before me, is Mr. Crawford there? Or this was not a waived appearance, correct? So Mr. Crawford should be at courtroom 2, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Crawford, we discussed your case in the breakout. In case, let me read you your case number 23 CR 005542F. You're charged with battery, family violence. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, based upon the information before me and hearing from both the state, the defense, and the alleged victim, defendant is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. He is to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further from either party?
This
No,
per
Your
judge,
Honor.
Oh, it says recommended on your sheet, but per judge, that's fine.
recommended through the jail. He live in Augusta. According to
Okay.
the sheet.
Okay. Is the address you have in Augusta, Ms. Abden?
No, it's in Atlanta, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, either way, per judge, that's fine.
How much is that?
3,000. All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Crawford. That's going to conclude your case at this time.
What's the content?
Excuse me, Judge,
I'm sorry. Yes.
for position number 4, he's in Union City. They're actually getting in contact with Ms. McLeod so he can be interviewed.
Okay.
So
I'm
that's
sorry.
all.
So courtroom 2 can be excused. Take care. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You do the same.
All right. Mr. Howard, I'm sorry. What was the question?
What was the contact?
Was no further violent.
All right.
So Union City is supposed to come on the line. All right. In the meantime, can we, uh-oh. Okay, I don't even remember that case, but if you'd like to turn on your camera and make a brief statement, whoever this is at Blue Studio.
Hi.
Okay, when the problem is we've passed that case and I don't even remember the ruling and we've dismissed the court, but
Right.
you can tell me what you'd like to say. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
All right, and I didn't sentence the defendants today, but what would you like me to be aware of?
The fact that when he assaulted me, my kids were around, and that wasn't his first time. I've also, before the recent time I called the police.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object to this testimony. It's outside the scope of what's relevant here today. Is she afraid? Is she not? That's
I'm gonna allow her. Go ahead, very briefly. And just as a reminder, I issued no contact with you whatsoever. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't know I missed it because I had trouble logging in, and I logged in around 2:20 when I finally got in.
He's ordered to have no contact whatsoever with you. Did you want that to remain in place?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you do have concerns for your safety?
I do. I have kids by his brother. So with all that being said, my kids are still going to be around somehow. And I don't feel safe because he's threatened to black my kids' eyes in their sleep. He done tried to drown my oldest son in the tub before. He done beat my other 2 kids in their sleep with a wooden stick.
Okay. And this was this, I'm sorry, let me go back. What was the charge again?
It was simple battery, family violence.
Okay, simple battery. Okay.
Calendar.
All right. All right, ma'am. I've ordered him to have no contact with you. Perhaps you should take preventative measures when it comes to your children. All right. That's all the court can advise at this time. But I do appreciate you coming to court and making that statement. Okay.
Thank you.
And
in the
SG's victim witness advocate is available to assist you. You spoke with us earlier today. So just continue to communicate with us. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Best of luck to you, ma'am. I do appreciate you coming to court. Ms. Champion, will you review the calendar as we await Union City?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good to see you, Ms. Champion. Haven't seen you in a while.
Good to see you too. Position number 1 is a $1,500 good bond reset SAP 928. Position number 2 is a total of a $4,000 pretrial bond reset further notice. Position number 3 is a total of a $10,000 SOB through the jail reset further notice. Position number 4 is a $4,500 good bond reset SAP 928. Position number 5 is a $3,000 pretrial bond reset further notice. Position number 6 is a total of a $4,000 pretrial bond reset further notice. Position number 7 is a $4,000 pretrial bond reset further notice. Position number 8 is a total of a $3,000 good bond reset SAP 928. Add-on position number 1 is a $1,000 sign-on bond through the jail. Add-on 2 is a $4,000 pretrial bond reset further notice. Add-on 3 is a total of a $4,000 pretrial bond reset further notice. Add-on 4 we're holding on. Add-on 5 is a $2,000 good bond reset SAP 928.
Number Bonilla was per judge.
Per judge, I have it.
Any other comments, changes, corrections, or questions? And Ms. Champion, I know we may be on hold for a minute. If you want to go ahead and send me the orders, I'll
Okay,
try
I'll
to
go
get
ahead and
them.
send
I
those
can
report.
start on those stuff because I know it's about to be 5 o'clock on Friday.
Okay,
And
I'll send
there's
them over.
people who need to get out. All right. I guess we'll be on hold until is it ACDC or South Annex comes on the line. We were rolling so smoothly.
Best laid plans, Your Honor.
That's right. All right. Well, we'll be on hold. Ms. McLeod, I just wanted to see if you actually were able to speak with them, your client at the South Annex. Okay, I'm assuming she's conducting that interview. Circling back very quickly to the gentleman that I gave the signature bind through the jail. I forget, I'm looking at his order now. Ms. Abden, are you present? I believe you represented that defendant.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the state is present as well. I'd like your thoughts regarding a BHET before he is released, as there may be some indications regarding his housing concerns.
I don't think that's necessary at this time, given that he's not interested, Your Honor.
Okay, this is the gentleman that was at Georgia Tech. You don't believe he'd be interested as well?
We're talking about Crawford, correct?
No, not Mr. Crawford. The gentleman, I just signed it. The gentleman who I gave the $10,000 SOB through the jail.
Position number 3, Broughton.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Champion. Mr. Broughton, who may or may not have some housing challenges. Your thoughts regarding a BH before he goes, so that perhaps he can get connected with some resources, especially in light of the charges that he is facing, particularly that second charge.
I did ask him, Your Honor, if he would be interested in meeting with our social workers. He said that he's connected with a ton of services. He provided the names of those services, and I think he's fine.
Okay, hearing that, we won't modify that order then.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. And does anyone have any information from South Annex?
Ms. McLeod is here.
I have. Oh, Ms. McLeod, you're back. Did you
Yes,
speak
Your
to
Honor,
your?
I was able to speak with Mr. Stevens.
Wonderful. Is he coming? Will they bring
I
him?
would imagine so, Your Honor, that the South Annex should be logging in or something.
I would hope so. Okay, and Ms. Champion, you should have my orders. I just sent them back, all right? So I'm gonna mute, but hopefully we will have the South Annex. We await them with a.
Not quite bated breath, but almost.
Ms. McLeod, I should have asked you to waive his appearance in the event that they're unable to bring him. Oh, never mind. So in the future, we'll do that. Sometimes we're unable to get the parties. We'll ask. I should have asked, but let's do that going forward. Ask defense counsel if they would be all right with the waiver. All right, good afternoon, Mr. Stevens. I'm Judge Melanie Williams. This is State Expedited Accusations Calendar. Before we begin, I want to make you aware of your rights today. You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and Ms. McLeod is here today to represent you. This particular proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on to watch this particular proceeding. Do you understand your rights and how I'm conducting the hearing today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and Mr. Stevens, you're here for case 23 CR 005547J. In this case, you're charged with 2 counts of battery, all right? All right. All right, Mr. Howard, I lost my email. Will you please tell me the history? Is Mr. Howard still here?
It's Mr. White's case, Your Honor.
Yeah.
The history on this defendant, I guess the
That's for
basic
Howard.
history important here is that this is an incident that occurred at the jail. He's
Okay.
currently incarcerated on an aggravated assault. That includes domestic violence and a gun, I believe.
Does he have a bond on that case?
I can look.
Let me look. Did Mr. Howard decide to leave us early?
Think so.
Mr. Howard left us. Okay, the history that I see is second arrest. He has a 23 ag assault, and that's open.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in the no bond status, or does he have a bond?
I didn't see anything on it. I didn't see a bond.
Mr. Howard, you left us. There you are. We're doing Stevens. We wanted to confirm, does he have a bond in the case he's being held on? The ag assault?
I don't know. Give me 1 minute. 30
Okay.
seconds.
Okay. All right. In the meantime, while we're confirming that, Mr. White, go ahead with your bond recommendation.
Okay, we're gonna recommend a surety bond of 2,500 for the battery, and for the second battery, same thing, 2,500. And it's, the state is just concerned a bit about, he's in there for an aggravated assault, and this happened March 2023. And on 9/11, Officer Wilcox, he went into the cell of Mr. Kevin Banks, and he saw blood on his shirt, and he had a busted lip, and he took him to a place where he could talk, took him to medical, and he said that he was attacked by Mr. Michael Stevens and his new roommate. That's how Michael Stevens got in the room, through his new roommate when he was going into the cell, and then he forced the new roommate to beat him up. And while he also participated in it with a closed fist, hit him in the lip, and then whipped him with a cord that the inmates get out of the commissary box. So we're just, if he were to make bond, we would want no further contact. We would want anger management, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Okay. It's my understanding he's being held on a no bond. So, all right, proceed, Ms. McLeod.
Your Honor, my client is 19 years old. He absolutely denies the allegations in the warrant. In fact, he tells me that what had happened was that he was trying to break up a fight between the alleged victim and his new roommate. In fact, he told me that he had to wrest the cords away from both of them because they were fighting. He said that was his only role in all of this, that he did not fight any of them, he did not attack anyone. He states that any injuries the alleged victim may have had would have been caused by his roommate, and all he was doing was being a good Samaritan.
Ms. McLeod, I'm not meaning to cut you off, but because he's being held on no bond, I'm inclined to do a signature bond through the jail on this, and to have, is it possible for him to have no contact with the victim? The victims in the case are his alleged roommates?
Well, the allegation is that this happened at Rice Street. I believe my client is now in Union City.
Okay, so he's been removed from that situation and more than likely would not have contact. All right, so he has no bond on the other cases. He's gonna have to deal with this one in conjunction with these new cases anyway, prior to being released. So defendant is gonna receive a $10,000 SOB through the jail, 5,000 each count. He's to have no contact with those victims. And he is to have, of course, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition.
Thank
you. All right. All right. I didn't mean to cut you off, Ms. McLeod, but is there anything additional you had wished to
There
add?
is nothing additional, Your Honor.
All right, South Annex can be excused. Thank you. Best of luck to you, sir. Stay out of trouble.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we will be in recess until tomorrow's SCA calendar. We all bid Mr. Palan farewell, adieu, and see you soon. Best of luck. Hope to catch you in the future.
Where are you going, Mr. Palan?
He's leaving.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
leaving. I'm out of here, Ms. McLeod. You won't have to
He's a-
tangle with me anymore.
He's a quitter.
Oh, you're not going to be practicing, or you're not going to be a prosecutor anymore?
I won't be actively prosecuting. I'll be at the Attorney General's office.
Okay.
He's gonna be, I told him not to forget us when he hits that, high time orbit.
Sure.
All right, everyone, take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see some of you on Monday when I'll be presiding again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your